How's it going, Laser Bruce? I'm Bobby Sixkilla and welcome back to Danganronpa 2. Goodbye Despair. Oh, I'm still sick unfortunately, so my voice is still a bit funny. I do apologise for that. Oh,
I knew you could do it.
It's a glitch, Monokuma. Lovely. So I do apologise for my voice being a bit funny, but hopefully it's not too distracting. We can just get on with our investigation, shall we? I feel like there's still going to be another class trial to discover who the mastermind is or something. I don't know. That's weird. This is the whole way I walked through to get to the gymnasium, but it's clearly different. This is a different floor. Is this Monokuma's doing too? Is he trying to confuse us again? Isn't this the floor that has the freezer room on it? I don't know how he's doing it, but he keeps doing it over and over again. He's so persistent. Well, I'm not going to fall for his trap. There's no way this will make me back down. Why can't I? Oh, there we go. Just had to get closer. This hallway. There's a strange feeling to it, no? As if an invisible wall had been erected to limit our movement.
I am concerned.
Is it just me? I hope so. This is the freezer room down here, wasn't it? It's closed though. Fire, yeah. What rooms are actually open? Not many by the look of it. Not many if any. Must just be the ones that we're meant to go to. Oh, this is that, yeah, the dojo, that's right. Is this a dojo? It's full of strange things that make me think there's no way we're inside a school. Perhaps it's a mistake to expect the inside of this building to make sense? What is this? Is this a manga? The title is Manga for Morons, A History of Hope's Peak Academy by Monokuma. Nice. Well, I'm a moron. Why is a manga with such a suspicious looking title laying out in the open like this? So you'll find it, I guess. Let's start with history class. History first class. Reading manga is the third best way to learn about history. Then, what's the first, you ask? That depends on the person. So just as I thought, Monokuma made this. That totally explains how suspicious it looks. It says by Monokuma on it. I really just want to ignore it, but there's no way I can do that. Fine, I'll look at it. I'll look at anything that might be a clue to getting out of here, no matter what it is. I picked up the manga off the floor and started flipping through the pages. It's an introduction to Hope's Peak Academy history, as narrated by the cutesy character on the cover. The story begins with an introduction to Hope's Peak Academy. Hope's Peak Academy is a government-funded school of privilege where only the most talented high school students can hope to attend. Built to raise hope in the nation's future, many of its alumni are key leaders of various industries. New students are chosen through a scouting process, but the ones who scout them are Hope's Peak Academy teachers, who serve as both educators and researchers of talent. Hope's Peak Academy isn't just a school for talent, it's also a school for researching talent as well. However, for the past few years, Hope's Peak Academy has been suffering from a decline in funding. If this persists, the Academy believes they will not be able to make progress with their research of talent. So they decided to implement a new system. The Reserve Department. Unlike the main department who scouts for students, the Reserve Department utilises a general entrance exam. Normal faculty was hired and placed in charge of looking after the reserve department. The expenses and exam fees for the reserve department are quite high compared to most high schools. Nevertheless, Hope's Peak Academy received an endless stream of applicants. Hope's Peak Academy was now available to talentless commoners, people who only cared about the brand. With this, Hope's Peak Academy managed to amass sizable funds and began further research of talent. To create Hope's Peak Academy's earnest wish, a true genius who would become mankind's hope. But just as they thought everything was going well, an unprecedented incident occurred. The incident that triggered the tragedy, the biggest, most awful, most tragic event in human history. That's right, it was the tragedy of Hope's Peak Academy. Hope's Peak Academy was crippled by this incident and was forced to shut down without accomplishing anything. The end. Huh? The ending was so sudden, like a manga that suddenly cancelled in the middle of its run. Plus 3 phrases mentioned at the end of this manga. The tragedy, and the tragedy of Hope's Peak Academy. These names are so melodramatic. There's no way these incidents really happened, right? The manga only mentions the names, so I don't really know the details, but no, it'd just be a waste of time to wonder about things that don't make sense. Would it? More importantly, I learned something because of this manga. The reserve department. That department was only built to collect money. I was one of those reserve course students, right?
But hold on.
That's weird. Oh, you're here again. The thing that's weird is you, of course. Huh?
Hey!
Why did you forget that you were part of the reserve department? You wiped our memories. The Future Foundation only took away your school life memories, right? But you should have known even before you entered that you had no talent, right? So I think it's weird that you actually forgot something like that too. What do you want me to say?
By the way...
Based on my assumption, the Future Foundation must have wanted to hide the fact that you were one of those reserve course students.
I got it!
Or you willingly sealed these memories yourself. That sounds more plausible. Huh? You wanted to be confident in yourself, so you wanted to forget everything that embarrassed you. You know, when humans experience trauma, sometimes they erase their memory of what happened. It happens pretty often. Not that I know anything about that, though. Are you saying it's my fault I forgot? That's not it.
Come on!
When things get inconvenient, you always get angry and try to brush it off. Well, that's expected of a reserve course student. Akane's not a reserve course student, she always gets angry. Damn it, what the heck? Reserve department. I'm not looking forward to this final trial. I really am not. These lockers? There are a bunch of wooden lockers here. Each of them has a traditional looking woodblock key sticking out of them. I guess they're just for show. There's nothing in particular that looks like a clue. There's a straw post, I guess that means it was used for training. I guess we're done here. Well, we're back here. But there was no other doors we could use, was there? Oh, here's Kazuichi.
What's going on?
This hallway is kind of creepy. I can't go to places that I should be able to go to. It's like some rule is being enforced for no reason. It's like there's an invisible wall or something. That's what Sonia said. You're just copying Sonia, aren't you? 5A? More manga for morons. Lovely. This is another manga. It's laying on top of the desk. This one is Manga for Morons, The Tragedy of Hope's Peak Academy. Huh. How relevant. Wasn't The Tragedy of Hope's Peak Academy mentioned in that other manga too? That's supposed to be the sequel. That's why Hope's Peak Academy went bankrupt, and it was the trigger for the biggest, most tragic, most awful event in human history. If I read this manga, will I be able to learn a little more about that incident? Probably. I took the manga from the desk instead, started flipping through the pages. To see what I could learn about the event known as the Tragedy of Hope's Peak Academy. The story made heavy use of outdated stylized drawings depicting characters solving mysteries. Ooh, I like it. What's written here is, as the name suggests, the tragedy of Hope's Peak Academy occurred at Hope's Peak Academy. Amazing that. The key player in that event was a student named Izuru Kamakura. Izuru was a genius known as the symbol of hope. Hope's Peak Academy used all their resources to develop it. Supposedly, Izuru was a genius among geniuses and possessed various talents. Wielding superior talent for the hopes of mankind, the Academy referred to Izuru as the ultimate hope. To protect such rare talent, the Academy completely concealed all evidence of Izuru's origins and identity. Because of that, most of the students at the Academy were completely unaware of Izuru's existence. But Izuru, who is known as the symbol of hope, was responsible for a horrible incident. 13 students of Hope's Peak Academy's Student Council, among the Academy's best and brightest, were brutally murdered by Izuru. However, the incident did not end there. The Academy tried to protect Izuru's superior talent and conceal the incident as though it never happened. However, a certain student began working in secret to use that incident to their advantage. That student uncovered what the Academy did, and by making that knowledge public, it stoked the fires of reserve course students who had long been dissatisfied with how they'd been treated. And the uprising began. A civil war in the school, and that heralded Hope's Peak Academy's destruction. This is the entirety of the tragedy of Hope's Peak Academy. Eventually the incident would lead to that horrifying, devastating incident. The incident that would be known as the biggest, most awful, most tragic event in human history. We're excited. Danganronpa 0. With a heavy sigh, I close the manga. Am I supposed to believe this? There's no way 13 people were killed at Hope's Peak Academy. What irony! For a genius known as the Ultimate Hope to cause such a gruesome incident, a talent like that is too regal for society. It's like trying to buy juice with a bar of gold. You should be lucky that you're incompetent. Damn it, he always has to lead up to something offensive. He seriously pisses me off. But Ultimate Hope? Nagato mentioned that before too, but it looks like it means something completely different here. What Nagato said was the true meaning of hope. But for Izuru, hope simply means talent. More importantly, a genius who possesses various talents. I wish they'd given me one of those talents so I didn't have to be in the reserve department. Always feeling sorry for ourselves, aren't we? That's right, the reserve department. Here, it said that the reserve course students in the reserve department began uprising. Then what about me? Was I a participant too? No, that's not possible. There's no way I'd have reason to do something like that. Nice. Anyway, I've learned about the tragedy of Hope's Peak Academy, but the biggest, most awful, most tragic event in human history is a far worse incident, right? Fucking hope so. What kind of incident was it? To be called something like that? And who's this other student that isn't Izuru? A certain student who secretly used the incident to their advantage. Who is that? Is that us? This incident is really messed up. But all it's doing is raising more questions. The mysteries just keep piling up. Don't worry, it's all gonna end very soon. I keep forgetting to check for Monokumas. I don't see any here though. Back out to the hall. Alright. Any new doors open up? That one? Oh, it's not blocked off anymore, maybe we can use it. Yeah, Biolab. Another manga. What the hell is with this room? It's freaking cold in here. This is where we keep the corpses, son. It's like I'm in a freezer or something. If I just stand still, I might end up freezing to death. I should hurry up and investigate so I can get out of here already. There's another manga just laying around here. This time the title is Manga for Morons, the biggest, most awful, most tragic event in human history. Could have guessed that was what the next one was going to be called. I knew it, the next one would obviously be about this incident. The biggest, most awful, most tragic event in human history, huh? Just, what was that incident really about? It might turn out to be something lame. I flipped through the pages of the manga and hoped that I was right. A story about creepily drawn characters who get involved in such horrifying incidents. An incident known as the biggest, most awful, most tragic event in human history. Is this drawn so grotesquely because the incident itself is that grotesque? Anyway, the beginning of this creepy manga starts with this sentence. The tragedy of Hope's Peak Academy was simply the trigger. At first, the uprising by the reserve course students that triggered the tragedy of Hope's Peak Academy was initially hoped to be resolved quickly, but the situation continued to escalate to dangerous extremes. The movement started spreading all over the internet and fostered a thriving online community. The community was not limited to students, and people of various races and nations began joining in. But the movement was not confined to the internet and began spreading and eroding the real world. When the movement started, it was indistinguishable from any other demonstration inspired by social unrest. But as it spread across the world, certain abnormalities soon came to light. By then it was too late. The ends and the means had vanished, and the wanton destruction became their only goal. The strong butchered the weak. The weak killed the weakest among them. And soon the weak formed factions to brutally murder the strong. As the violence and death continued to spread, the shock of their actions began to disappear. As if the era was regressing to more uncivilized times, when senseless deaths were the norm. The media was oversaturated with deaths to the point where people would watch them while enjoying a meal. By the time the world realized what it had become, it was too late to stop what had happened. A feeling of immense despair began spreading and eventually engulfed the world. Acts of terrorism and coups d'etats began occurring around the world. A war waged in the name of despair. A war fought not for principles, religion, or personal gain. Just war. Pure war. And because of that, there was no way to resolve it. How can a movement started by high school students progress to such a hopeless scenario? The only explanation is the existence of a certain organization devoted to a certain student who influenced Hope's Peak Academy. A group called Ultimate Despair. Instead of using Hope's Peak Academy's talents for the sake of mankind's hope, they use them for the sake of mankind's despair. Key members of society use their influence to brainwash the masses in order to spread despair. Tech-savvy computer programmers wrote software to spread despair. The powerful and influential created new values and morals to spread despair. And with this, they created the tragedy, the biggest, most awful, most tragic event in human history. As long as ultimate despair exists, the despair engulfing the world will never end. The tragedy will never end. My heart was racing in my chest, but my body felt ice cold. And it wasn't just because I was freezing in this room, but partially. The biggest, most awful, most tragic event in human history? This is definitely all made up. I mean, if this is really true, then what's happening in the outside world? My family, my friends, the convenience store I frequent, the nearby bookstore, my favorite restaurant. What's happening to them?
No way!
Hey, are you seriously yelling at a manga? How crazy are you? Who would enjoy reading something like this?
What?
Oh my, you don't like manga? A high school student who doesn't like manga is like an office lady who doesn't like to eat candy. Enough. What is this messed up manga? I thought you'd obviously know about such a horrible event that destroyed the world, but... for you not to remember that's such despair. That's the Future Foundation's fault though. Thanks to them stealing your school memories. The incident that happened during that period has been completely removed from your brains. This incident really happened, and I actually forgot about it? There's no way that's possible.
What are you saying?
How many times do I have to tell you? All the clues here are real.
Hello.
Please understand, I'm rooting for you. If you don't learn about the full extent of the outside world, you guys will suffer for it. I just want to help you guys so you can live well-adjusted lives in the outside world. I see, so that's how it is. That's what he meant when he said at the beginning. Well, as the headmaster, I'm conflicted, you know? On the one hand, I'm really happy that you're finally going to graduate. But on the other hand, I'm worried about whether you guys will be okay in the outside world. That's why I'm thinking about telling you what the outside world is like before you make a decision. Whether you want to leave Jabberwock Island or stay here. He's trying to make us feel despair towards the outside world, so we'll want to stay on the island. Yeah. But there's no way I'm going to do what he wants. There's a Monokuma under the table. Despair like that simply can't exist. The outside world should be filled with hope. Just like now. Perhaps. No, that's definitely it. The tragedy. Whether or not this incident really happened. What in the world is this ultimate despair group? If they're devoted to a certain student who guided Hope's Peak Academy to its destruction, are they connected to both the tragedy and the tragedy of Hope's Peak Academy? Plus, that organization isn't just one person, but a group of people. But if they're known as Ultimate Despair, they're high school students, right? Well, if they're actually able to do it, then I guess what? That's why they're called Ultimates. Then, are the killings we're involved in connected to them as well? It's no use, I'm gonna freeze to death. Why are we standing here thinking about it? I'm at my limit, I need to get out of here. Shivering, I ran out of the freezing room. No, there's a Monokuma under the table! No! Oh well. Oh, that was close. I nearly froze to death. So where should I go next? Can I go back in? They did let me back in, that's nice. I appreciate that, thank you.
I've been found.
Alright, let's go. Now we can leave. You get to leave when I say we can leave. Okay. What room are we going to now? Oh, this one's open now. Slowly getting all the rooms open. I feel like this is going to be a long investigation. No, I should ignore it. I'm just going to pretend I didn't see him. Good plan. Hey Fuyuhiko, what's happening? When I went inside this room, that bastard bear was suddenly here. I don't see him, I don't know what you're talking about. He keeps glancing at me. I wonder why. It's gonna be shitty either way.
Damn right.
So I'll let you handle it. There's no way I'm gonna deal with that idiot. I don't want to do that either. We don't have a choice.
Hiya.
Why, hello, Hajime. I hope you're doing pleasingly well. Are you pleasingly well? You're pleasingly well, right? What are you doing here?
No, no.
Well, there was another thing I needed to tell you on this floor. I got bored of drawing manga. Can you forgive me for telling you by word of mouth? You should have done that from the beginning. I didn't want to read your manga in the first place. A high school student who doesn't like manga? It's like a sumo wrestler who doesn't like eating hot pots. I'm getting really fed up with your babbling. Hurry up. What did you need to tell me? It's about that key piece of information you've been waiting so long for.
What?
Surprise. It's about ultimate despair. Huh? Even though the term ultimate despair refers to a group these days,
Actually,
it was originally the title for a high school girl who was the most powerful, evil, and feared person alive. A high school girl?
yes indeed.
Lady Junko Inoshima. Junko Inoshima.
Hey,
As the former ultimate despair, she created despair, brimming with charm and humor. And created the ultimate despairs. There was one really horrible person in that group.
Don't fuck with me.
Hold on a sec. I don't know what the ultimate despairs are, but it's not that easy to form an organization. There's no way people would just join some fucked up organization created by a high school girl.
unbelievable.
Humans are obsessed with their philosophy, have an uncanny power to attract others. This is a trait shared by many famous leaders throughout history, right? There's nothing strange about it.
Hey,
That holds true for Lady Junko. With her charismatic ability to attract people, she even influenced those in the highest echelons of power.
Phew.
Her connections were the main reason that incident became the tragedy in the first place. So she even recruited people who would have been in a position to neutralize the threat?
Huh?
Then what was their purpose?
Huh?
What? Like I said, why did they cause that incident? It doesn't even make sense. They had a purpose, right? There's no way they do what they did without any purpose.
Hey,
It was Junko Inoshima's despair. Huh? For Junko Inoshima, despair wasn't about purpose, a set of principles, a way of life, or an instinct. Despair is what defines Junko Inoshima as Junko Inoshima. What are you saying? I'm a stuffed plushie. Hajime is a human. It's exactly like that. Junko Inoshima is full of so much despair that she's truly hopeless. Living, dying, eating, loving, for her, everything is despair. What the hell? With her overwhelming force of personality, Junko recruits the ultimate despairs one by one. She controlled their despairs by taking advantage of their love, hate, grudges, anything really. Junko's despair is far more dreadful than any other. That idea had been slammed right into their minds. And so, the ultimate despairs who had been recruited became nothing more than Junko's limbs. All despair, whether it was their own or anyone else's, was dedicated to Junko Inoshima. Like believers making offerings to their god. Like a mother providing food to her children. They dedicated all despair so they could escape from despair, all in Junko Inoshima's name. For example, they killed their families and friends, and even destroyed their bodies through relentless mutilation. And to hopelessly top it off, they completely believed it was something that they had to do. There's no way something that crazy is possible.
what?
Do you know about the final days of the Reserve Corps students during the tragedy of Hope's Peak Academy? Final days?
In other words,
Junko has the power to change people's values. This is also true of famous people throughout history. Hey, what do you mean final days? What happened to the reserve department?
of course.
They fulfilled their roles as disposable limbs. They believed in what they needed to do. And so, the 2,357 students of the reserve department all committed mass suicide. Mass suicide?
What'd you say?
All 2,357 students? Oops, it wasn't all of them. One person was excluded. One person was excluded. Huh. Is that me?
Damn it!
I don't believe it. There's no way I can believe this. Ultimate despair? Junko Inoshima? Doesn't scare me at all. I mean,
Bastard!
Junko Inoshima's already dead. Huh? Yes, she is. I believe. Okay. Why were we not murdered? Why did we not kill ourselves? Junko Inoshima's already dead. What does that mean? Why does Fuyuhiko know about that? Hey Fuyuhiko, is it true what you said? Junko Inoshima is really dead?
Huh?
What? You didn't see? There was a book called Manga for Morons, Killing School Life in that bloody classroom. A bloody classroom? No, wait. What was that you said about the killing school life? Like the killings we were involved in, they were killings that happened at Hope's Peak Academy. As I recall, the mastermind took her own life because the remaining students worked together to defeat her.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, that's what it was. The killing school life ended up failing in the end. As a result, the 6 students who survived managed to escape from the academy.
Hey,
For a manga about the killing school life, it was drawn with a lot of silly images and dumb gags. According to that, the mastermind behind the failed killing school life was Junko Enoshima? Yeah. The mastermind took her own life, which means Junko Enoshima is dead.
like,
It turns out that killing school life was part of that whole biggest, most awful whatever incident. Junko took away the memories of former students of Hope's Peak Academy and forced them to kill each other. Former students of Hope's Peak Academy, and she took away their memories. That's just like us. Apparently, the whole thing was being filmed by surveillance cameras and broadcast worldwide. There's a limit to being a cruel arsehole. The surveillance cameras were broadcasting the whole thing.
so.
The students of Hope's Peak Academy are widely known as symbols of hope. By forcing people to watch these symbols of hope kill each other for the sake of survival, made them despair. They were trying to fill everyone who watched the broadcast with despair all at once. That's messed up. But that messed up plan was stopped, and Junko Enoshima failed. Junko lost to the students she placed in her trap, and after being overcome by the despair she created, she took her own life. Then Junko was no more. No matter how horrible she was, there's no reason to fear someone who's dead. Whether Monokuma's story is true or not doesn't matter.
Bastard!
Junko Enoshima isn't alive anymore. Then, who is our enemy? If Junko Enoshima is already dead, are the rest of the Ultimate Despairs behind this? Are the followers of Junko carrying out her will? That's the only thing I can think of. I mean, the killings we're involved in resemble the killing school life. Well, I don't know who the hell is imitating Junko and making us go through this, but an imitation is just that. An imitation.
No shit!
If the students from Hope's Peak Academy stop the real deal, there's no way we'll lose to some fake. But if this is really an imitation, are those surveillance cameras the same too? Cameras all over Jabberwock Island? Are they broadcasting to somewhere? Just like the surveillance cameras during the killing school life? Probably. Level up! Man, Hajime, you totally know about that story, huh? What? Do you have a problem with that? Well, I really wanted you to read the manga version since I took the time to draw it.
What are you gonna do?
Oh well, I'll just raise the flag. Flag? What do you mean raise the flag? What's gonna happen if you do that?
Ooh,
One step at a time, you're getting closer to clearing my character route. You're not making sense again.
well now.
Now then, I'll give you guys my all. I'll tell you everything I know, including information on the outside and the inside. I'll raise them flags like crazy. Well, I think we're gonna have to wrap. Oh, we're on another floor. Huh? I think we're going down. It changed to a different hallway again. It's so sudden. What's going on to make something like this happen? No, I've already decided that I'm not going to be surprised. That's right, there's no time to be surprised by something like this. If it took all that time to get through one floor, This investigation is probably going to take a few episodes. We're going to wrap this one up here because we are well out of time. And we're going to investigate this floor, and then I think this is the 3rd floor, so we'll have the 2nd floor, maybe the 1st floor. Obviously there's going to be a trial because we're picking up truth bullets. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. Thanks for hanging out with me, and I'll see you in the next one.